Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And today we have a treat for you. The puzzle on the screen has been recommended to us by none other than the great man himself, Phistomefel. He dropped me an email this morning to say that this is a beautiful Sudoku, and it's by Abed Hawila, who made his debut on the channel only a couple of weeks ago, and apparently he's come up with another stunning puzzle. So you can, it's called the what's it called? The lionfish. The lionfish. So I should apparently be able to see a picture of a lionfish in here. Now, in order to learn what a lionfish looked like, I went to Google. This is a lionfish, a grumpy looking thing. And yeah, apparently if we stare hard, we should be able to see the lionfish in the cages here. So you guys are going to have to tell me how on earth that works. I remember we did a puzzle called the pufferfish by Codec a few months ago, and I think this ended up being the mouth down in the bottom right hand corner. Yeah, but I'm not really seeing it, I have to say. Yeah, someone will enlighten me, and that will be great. I'll tell you the rules in just a moment, but before we get to those, this sentence that I never thought I'd utter. Cracking the Cryptic has now amassed an extraordinary 1/3 of a million subscribers on YouTube, which is quite extraordinary. And you know, we were talking, or I was mentioning yesterday, that our next target might be 1 million subscribers. I think slightly more realistic is one that Trevor Tao came up with. So I'm indebted to Trevor for this one. He's found a thematic target because, believe it or not, the product of the digits 1 to 9, not the sum, the product of the digits is 362,880. Now that seems doable to me, so if you want to help us reach our new target of 362,880, please do subscribe, especially if you like the content. Now, what else do I want to mention? Well, we have the Wonders of the World Sudoku Hunt available on Patreon at the moment. It's closing in on 250 correct solutions we've received. It's absolutely extraordinary, and so much great feedback. We're very pleased with how that one's gone, so do have a look. If you've not had a look at it already, it is worth your time. Now, let's get to the rules of this one. So, in fact, I think I'm going to get rid of the colours because they will only confuse me. And we have got normal Sudoku rules apply. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So, completely bog standard killer Sudoku. So that means those 3 squares, for example, have got to sum up to 12, and you can't use a repeated digit. So what you couldn't do, oh, I'm on colours. I don't want to be on colours. Go away, colours. I couldn't do that, for instance, because although those 3 cells do add up to 12, you've repeated the 3, and that's not going to work. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, I mean, I guess we can impart the secret straight away about box 1. The finished solution to this puzzle. Box 1 will obviously have one of the digits 1 through 9 once each. Now if you add up all those digits you get 45. So I know this box adds to 45. It's got a 19 cage and an 11 cage in it. 19 and 11 is 30. So those 3 squares must add up to 45 minus 30, which is 15. And that is as useful as a chocolate teapot. Why? Well, because 3 cells that add up to 15 average 5, which is exactly the average for any digit of a Sudoku puzzle, because obviously 5 lies midway between 1 and 9, so we learn absolutely nothing about those 3 cells, unfortunately, so we need to look somewhere else. We've got 15 cages, look, in box 2, so we know that there are 2 ways of making 15 in 2 cells, 8, 7 and 6, 9. So those squares together must consume all of those digits. So this is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. We've got the same. Oh, we got the same thing going on in box 6. Look, another 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. And now my eyes are taking me to this box. So, I mean, by the way, the reason that my eyes are taking me here is I can see that these cages are pointing, or to me, that's how I think of them. They are pointing into box 3. So I'm wondering whether we can learn something about whether these these versions of the 15 are both the same or whether they're both different. And yes, we can. We can learn that these cannot be the same way of making 15, because if they are, let me show you. If this was 8, 7 and this was 8, 7 as well, now look what happens in box 3. We have to put the 7 and the 8 in this little 2x2 square here. So 2 of these digits are 8 and 7, but all 4 of the digits add up to 10 plus 7, which is 17. So if 2 of them add up to 15 and the other 2 therefore have to add up to 2, we're definitely going to have to repeat 1 somehow in this 2x2, and that will break the rules of Sudoku. So this is all good because it means we mustn't break the rules of Sudoku, and we get the opportunity to reintroduce the colours I've just deleted, because it's very tempting now to colour these in. Because if I know these are different ways of making 15, I have to colour them, I have to. Sorry, I just feel compelled. So once we know these are different, and I've made these green, we know this must be the same as this. This must be the same as that. And that might be very useful, or not. Let's just come back to this box. Can we do more? If we know these are different. So if this was 6, 9, we just know 9 has to form. I'm not sure that we do actually know too much more about this box. 13 there. Okay, well, there's a small restriction on this domino, because this can't be a 6, 7, 13. Why can't it? Well, if it was a 6, 7 pair, we couldn't make this domino add up to 15, because 6, 9 and 7, 8 would be impossible. So this is either 5, 8 or 4, 9. And that's a little bit interesting as well, actually, because now there's a virtual quadruple in row 5. What do I mean by a virtual quadruple? Well, I know that these 5 cells contain the digits 6, 7, 8 and 9. How do I know that? Well, it's because I know there must be an 8 or a 9 in this domino. We know there's an 8 or a 9 in this pair as well. So yeah, so in fact, one way to see that is that this square can't be an 8 or a 9 anymore, because there's definitely an 8-9 pair in these two boxes combined. So this is a 6 or a 7, that therefore is an 8 or a 9, and whatever is not 8 or 9 in the 15 cage will be a 6, 7. So there's definitely stuff going on in row 5 of the grid. Now, not sure what we can do with that, although there is exactly the same thing going on in column 5. So there is some weird symmetry in this puzzle that I am not getting my head round at all, but the same logic applies to this 13 cage. This 13 cage also can't be a 6, 7, and therefore it is 4, 5 or 8, 9. Oh, I know what I could do. It's slightly frivolous, but you'll forgive me. I can make this green to signify that whichever 8, 9 it has in it is the same as this square. Yes, I'm doing that. That sounds fun. So this has got the same as this square in it, and presumably I can do the same down here. Yeah, let's tidy up this column, because this square cannot be an 8, 9 because there's an 8, 9 virtual pair in those. So this square is a 6 or a 7. This square is an 8 or a 9. This is purple, and there must be a purple 8, 9 in this one. And that, look at this in box 5. This is lovely. Now where does purple's 8, 9 go? It can't be here because of Sudoku. It can't be here because of Sudoku. It can't be in a 9 cage, because if you put 8 or a 9 in a 3-cell 9 cage, you will have a lot of difficulty with the other two digits. You can trust me about that. So this square is an 8 or a 9, and presumably, yes, oh, yes, the same. It works the same way with the 8, 9 in the green, this can't be 8 or 9, whichever is in the green. This can't be, these can't be, so that must be a green 8 or 9. Now I've got 8, 9 pairs in this column and this row. Whoa. Oh, no, that's a simpler way of thinking. Not about the 8, 9s, but about box 5 in general. Because, yeah, we've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 virtual quadruple in column 5. We've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 virtual quadruple in row 5. So none of those squares can be 6, 7, 8 or 9. We know the 8s and the 9s are in these squares, so these squares must be 6 or 7, and this square cannot be a 7 because it will have to be accompanied by double 1, which will be a problem. So we're not going to give ourselves that problem. We're going to go 6, 7. We're going to go 1, 2 into those two squares, 3, 4, 5 into these squares, and where does 1, 2, where does the other 1 or 2 go in this row? It looks like it's got to be here, so this square's got to be 8 or 9 as well, and that means I can colour it in. Good. So now I've got lots of purples. Can I get... Yes, the same logic of course applies in column 5. Where does the 1 or 2 go? There. So this must be 8 or 9. This must be a green 8 or 9 because the purple 8 or 9 is here. And now we do what? We and ah, and I try to talk coherently while I desperately try to see something in this puzzle I can do next. I can... 6. Okay, 6 in box 8 has to be on this side of the box, which is, I think I already knew that if I'd actually concentrated on it. I just didn't notice it. 6 must be in one of those squares. 7. 7 can't be in those 4 squares, so it must be in this domino. Same thing happens down here. There's symmetry going on here. I'm not getting my head round this. Yeah, it's strange. But basically, every digit that we're getting around these central boxes, we need to basically then try and find its counterpart and do the same logic again. 27 cage. We've got 27 cage here. Those two squares have got to be relatively small. They can't be higher than 9 because I can't put 6, 7, 8 or 9 into these squares. These squares can't be higher than 6. 6. Yeah, that's interesting. I can't make this domino here 5 and 6 if I put 5 in this domino. So the actual maximum size of the wings of this 27 cage, given you can't put 7, 8 or 9 in any of those cells, is 6, 5, 4, 3, which is 18. Lovely. Right, okay, I understand what we do next. These 4 squares have to be in some order 3, 4, 5 and 6 because they cannot be any higher. And if they're any lower, you'd have to put 10 into this square. And that we're not going to do that. So this is 9. These do add up to 18. 6 is not in those ones. And 6 is therefore in these ones. So 6 is not in this square. So there's definitely a 6 here. There's no 9 here anymore. So there's no 4 there. There's no 9 here, so there's no 6 here. So although these are both purple, they add up to different digits, so I've got to keep an eye on that. So we need to know now, is this purple or is it green? If it's purple, that would be purple. That would be purple. And if it's green, green would be in one of those two, because it couldn't be in the 7 cage. Oh, okay. 9 in the 19 cage. There is no 9 in it, so there must be an 8 in it. And we know that because 7 plus 6 plus 5 is only 18. So as soon as the 9 is eliminated, we're going to have an 8 to get high enough. Oh, it's beautiful. Got it. Got it. Once there is an 8 in the 19 cage, we know what green is. Because if green is an 8, what would we put in the 19 cage? We couldn't put 8 or 9 in it. And therefore it will break. We can't get it high enough. That is absolutely lovely. So these two squares have to be 9. And that therefore means green is 9, which means that's 9. This is 6. Purple must be 8, which means that's a 2. Look, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. And that's an 8, so this is a 7. And I think this might be an extremely good way into the puzzle. Now, this is now 5 and 8, adding up to 13. There's no 5 in there, therefore, so there must be a 5 in the other wing of the 27. Now there's a 5 up there. No, there isn't. No, hang on. Going to slow down. There's a 4-9 pair here. There's 4 in the middle box, has to be there. 5. Oh, there is a 5 up here now. Because this can't be a 5, because this 8 forces it to be a 4-9. This domino now can't have a 9 in it. So it's 7. Oh, it's 7-8 like this. And 5 here means we get the middle box completely filled. And can we keep this going? 4 must be down here in this box. 7, no. No, I'm not sure how much further we can take this. Let's just take stock. So we've made a lot of progress. 9, look, now has to be in one of those 3 squares. So 9 is not in the 12 cage. So the 12 cage, if it's 4-8, it must be this way round. 8 here, 4 here. Or it's 5-7. Ooh, not quite. 9 in box 3 can't go in the 7 cage, so 9 is in one of 2 places in box 3. If 9 was here, it couldn't go in the 11 cage, so 9 would be there, which might be okay. 9's... What's this cage total? 13. Alright, well this 13 can't be 4-9 because then this cell would have no value. So this is either 5-8 making a pair with this one, or it's 6-7, which... 6-7. Which means yeah, lovely. The 12 cage now can't be 5-7. Because if it's 5-7, you'd eliminate 5-8 and 6-7 from the 13 cage, which you can't do. So we now know that this is 4, 8, and we know the order. Therefore, this square is not 4. We now know 8 is in one of those two cells in box 1. I think that's a 12K, yeah. So whichever one of these is 8 is quite restricted. If this is 8, we have to put a 1-2 pair in the 11 cage. If this is 8, we've got to put a 1-3 pair in the 12 cage. This is not 5, 8. This is 6, 7. That square isn't a 6 anymore. This square is not a 7 anymore. So the 7 is placed in box 4, and it must live up the left-hand side of box 1. So now we've got a similar thought going on to this 19 cage, but this time it's the other way round. This time you can't put 8 in it. And if you can't put 8 in a 19 cage, you've got to put 9 in it, because 765 is not enough. So if there's a 9 in it, well, I was about to say there's two ways left of getting the 10 that we need, but in this instance there isn't, because there's a 7 here, and this 7 is taking away the 7 from this square. So now there's a 7 and a 9 in the 19 cage. So this 19 cage must be 3, 7, 9, and that's not 7. We get the 9 in box 3 from this, because look, the 9 in, if we think about rows 2 and 3 together, there's a few ways of thinking about this, but one way I like to think about it is like this. If we looked at the finished solution, how many 9s would we find in row 2? It's not a trick question. There's only 1. How many 9s would we find in row 3 in the finished solution? Only 1. So these rows together have exactly 2 9s. So if I put a 9 here, that will be a third 9 in 2 rows, which is clearly impossible. So that square's got to be a 9. And, okay, what now? We can repeat the trick on columns 1 and 2. Look, 9 is in this domino because it's not in this cage. 9 is in this triple. So that means we found the 2 9s that exist in column 1 and column 2. So that can't be a 9, and make a third 9. That must be 9. The 4 means there's a 4 on the left side. Sorry, the left side of the grid, but the right side of box 1. This square, no. Okay. This row is quite restricted. We need 1, 3, 4, and 5. But there's definitely a 5 and a 4 here, so this square must be a 1 or a 3. This must be 1, 3, or 4, because the 5 must be in the 27 cage. Okay, well let's think again. What do we do now? Maybe I should correct my colouring. I'm going to just remove some of the colours from... That shouldn't have a colour, should it? This must have a colour. 9 is in one of those 2 squares. 9's up here. I've got a horrible feeling I'm about to get stuck here. 8. 8's fixed down here. So that's 8, that's 5. So 8 is not there in the 19 cage. And that's great because it exposes the value of the 19 cage and might make me think about it more. So we've got 8 in it. We need 11 more without using 2, 9 or 3, 8. So this has got either 4, 7 or 5, 6 in it. I'm not sure how to tell which of those is correct. Let's pencil mark it though. So 4, 7 or 5, 6 along with 8, and the 8 is not there. The 6 can't be in here. Oh, bobbins, come on, Simon. What is it we're missing? I've got to be able to disambiguate this 6, 9 and this 7, 8 somehow. 6, 7 pair there. No. 6, 7. Oh, this can't be a 3, 7 pair because that will make both of those squares equal to 9. So this 10 cage can't be 1, 9 or 3, 7. This has got to be even digits. This is 2, 8 or 4, 6. And if it's, oh, we can see if it's got 8s in it. If both of these were 8s, you'd have to lock an 8 into that square. But it would still be useful if it's 4, 6. That would disambiguate this. If it was 4, 6, this would have to be a 2, 5 version of a 7 cage, which that would be interesting. I've just noticed that in this box, look, 2's got to be in this domino because it's not down there. So if this, well, if there's 2 in any of these. Oh, hang on, there's always 2 in one of these, isn't there? If this is 2, 8, there's obviously 2. If this is 4, 6, you've got to put 2 in the 7 cage. So there is always a 2 in these squares. That goes with the 2 here. So where does the 2 now go in column 9 of the grid? It's got to go here. And that is absolutely useless. Well, yeah, no, maybe not. This 2 and this 2 interact. So there's a 2 in one of those 2 squares, which means there's a 2 in one of these 3 squares, which join. So the 2 joins its friend, the 4 and the 8. So this must be a 2, 4, 8 triple. That's not 8. So these squares have got to be 1, 5, and... no, I was about to say 1, 5, and 7. It's not right. It's misscanning. 1, 5, and 6. Bobbins. Okay, 1, 5, and 6. Okay. 7 in box 3 now. Where does 7 go? It can't go in the 7 cage and it can't go in the 10 cage. So 7 goes here. So 7 is not there anymore. Right, here's a good bit of logic actually. There's a 6 and a 7 in column 9 at the moment. Now in the 19 cage, we know there's an 8 combined with either 5, 6 or 4, 7. So there must be a 6 or a 7 in the 19 cage. Well, the only cells that can contain that 6 or 7 now is this one. So this is a 6 or a 7, and therefore it is not its friend the 8. So this is not 8, which means that we put 8 in the corner. And in putting 8 in the corner, we learn the secrets of the universe. Look, 8s are now pinching the corner of box 3. You can't put 8 in a 7 cage, you've got to put 8 in the 10 cage. So this is a 2, 8 pair. There's no 2 in the 7 cage. This square's now a 4 by Sudoku. That means that's a 2 and that's an 8, which means this is a 1, and all of a sudden we're off to the races, look. Or are we? I'm not sure. We might be. It's definitely progress of a sort. It just doesn't seem to immediately resolve everything. This column? Yeah, this column's got quite a lot going on, look. We've got 1, 1, 3 and 5 to place. This can't be a 5. This is a 1 or a 3. So there's a 1, 3 pair. This square's a 5. That's in the 12 cage. So this square's a 3. This 3, look, that fixes everything. In the 19 cage, that actually does fix everything. This 9 must go here. Now what do? We can... Let's delete the 9 from there and take another stair. So this 3, there's now got to be a 3 in one of those two positions, which fixes the 7 cage, look. Because this 7 cage now can't be 3, 4 or 2, 5. So this is 1, 6, which that's nice. So this is 6, this is 9. This 1, 6 also means that's 5 and that's 6. Therefore, this is 6. This square here has got to be a 1 or a 3, and it can't be a 3. So the 1 and the 3 go in. Let's delete 3 from all of those. We get a 4, 5 pair in the 27 cage. So this can't be a 4 down there. This is 3 and 6 now. So if we look down this column, we need 1, 2 and 4. The 1 can only go there, because of the 1, 6 pair here and the 1 here. So this is a 2, 4 pair. 2, 4. Where does 5 go in box 2? It can only go here. So this is a 2, 4 pair. Therefore, this square must be 7 by Sudoku. In this column, we've not placed 3 yet, have we? So 3 must go in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That square's a 1. This square is... oh. Hang on. Yeah, this column needs 4 and 5. There's a 4 here. So this should be a 5. This should be a 4. The 19 cage is finally disambiguated, as is this cage, which means we can finally tidy up the 8s. Let's double click all the 8s. Ah, that's not working. Double click all the 8s, turn them all purple. Let's double click all the 9s as well. Let's see if we can do the same. Have I got all the 9s? I do. 9s are green, aren't they? There we go. Oh, bother. I just realised I missed that 8, so I'm going to have to do that again. Have I now got all the 8s? I do. These are 2, 3 pair. 3's got to live in one of those squares. This 7's fixing this. I think we're there, aren't we? It feels like all of a sudden the puzzle is being generous to us. 1 now must go here. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't be a wally. This column has not got 5 in it. We need a 2, 3 pair into those squares, which doesn't seem to be resolved. Have we missed anything, or is it should just be Sudoku, I think. I'm probably just missing a simple elimination. This 7, yeah, that's probably it. So this has got to be 2 or 4, and look, there's a 4 here. So now we should be able to go 2, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4. 3 must go here. 3 and 6 go into the grid. That becomes a 6, which fixes the 6 and the 1 and the 5, and that looks like how to solve a beautiful, beautiful Sudoku puzzle. Thank you very much to Abed Hawila for creating this. Thank you very much to Phistomefel for recommending it. And thanks to you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I really hope you had a go. And I love to read the comments about how you got on. And we'll be back later, of course, with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.